You guys have found the Rational Football League show. My name's Emmett Swarat. I'm here with my co-host, B. We give the most rational takes, and we're going to need to use our full rational brains for the conversation today because we're discussing the potential decision. At this moment, it hasn't been officially announced, but the potential decision to bench Jacoby Brissett and start Drake Maye instead. And if you're a Patriots fan, I wouldn't get too excited about that just yet because we have some thoughts that may point out why this is a terrible, terrible fucking decision. B, I'll let you start the conversation off about this decision, though.
There's just really, I can't wrap my brain around it because there's no trigger event to play Drake Maye right now. There's none because the team is awful. Okay. So the team is awful. Everything about the team. I can't stress how bad the team is awful. So you're going to put a developing young quarterback out there, which we said going into the season that Drake Maye needed time. He's pretty raw in his footwork, decision-making, all that stuff. That he needs time, okay? He needs more than 5, 6, 7 weeks, especially on a team that has no supporting cast around him. The team's awful. Now, if they were kind of middle of the road and like maybe if Brissett was the reason why that they were losing games, and he is bad too. Jacoby Brissett is playing poorly too. Okay, that's aside. But the team itself is also bad, right? If they're maybe like 2-3 right now, and he was the reason why they lost those 3 games, and Jared Mayo was like, we need to make a change at quarterback. We want to stay in this fight. I can see that being a reason why I still want to do it because you set that precedent at the beginning of the season that you're going to sit Drake Maye so he can learn, right? But I can see that being more of a case to play Drake Maye over what's happening right now. Your team is losing because it was constructed to lose. Your team is losing because it sucks. Why would you put a young quarterback out there in that scenario?
Yeah,
I kind of have a hunch why, but go ahead.
Yeah, again, into the Patriots fans screaming at the TV, because or the phone, whatever you're watching this on. Oh, because he gives us a better chance to win, and we want to win, and so on and so forth. Okay, so here's why I can't wrap my head around this decision. Because I see it's one of two things, right? Either A, right, you're telling us right now you're prioritizing winning, which is great, right? You're an NFL franchise, you should prioritize winning. But at the same time, if the plan was to sit Drake Maye, why would you think that Brissett was the right answer to play quarterback if you were going to try to win games? I got the numbers pulled up, and I won't, bore you by listing them all off. But the summary is he's playing at about average. Maybe slightly, you can argue slightly below average, but this is about what Jacoby Brissett has always been, right? So I thought the intention to bring Jacoby Brissett into play was he's the veteran guy, he's the experienced guy, he was brought up in the Patriot way, he knows the Patriot way. It's a familiar face around there. So he can be a guy that can show Drake Maye the ropes while he's learning, and then Jacoby Brissett takes the hits. Drake Maye doesn't have to put his body out the line against this, team that's got a terrible O-line, it's got limited weapons, the defense isn't great, first-year head coach, so on and so forth, right? So if that's the case, right, Brissett was brought in to be a veteran in leadership, take the hits, Drake Maye can learn from the mistakes, and the next year, this is Drake's year, and you guys get a high draft pick. Then why switch to Drake Maye now? Why would there be any reason to ever deviate from that plan, right? You knew coming in you're going to lose. You knew coming in this team was not built to win. Your expectations should at no point ever been the playoffs. It should have been, this is a year for development. This is a year for us to get a high draft pick to continue to build this roster. So next year Drake Maye can step in. So if you're putting Drake Maye in now, it tells me, A, you're prioritizing attempting to win, because I don't think it'll actually make a difference in winning. It's still a terrible fucking roster. But you're prioritizing the attempt to win at the expense of your young quarterback. So you're either terrible at evaluating who Jacoby Brissett is, or you were never really committed to letting Drake Maye sit and develop the way he should have, in which place you should have just started him to begin the year anyway, because if you didn't care, you should have just done that. What are your thoughts on that, B?
No, I definitely agree. It's like they're playing like the 1 foot in, one foot out game. Drake Maye needs more time to sit and learn than 5 or 6 weeks. It just does. It just doesn't make sense to now play him. They'd be like, oh, see, we're showing the fans, or we're showing the media, we're showing whatever that we're trying to win games. So we're going to play Drake Maye on this terrible team. And I hate to say it, but I don't want his development to get stunted by this. It doesn't make much sense. Now, could he come out there and light it on fire and make chicken salad out of chicken poop? Sure, maybe, I guess. Like, but the odds of that happening are very, very slim because he was raw coming out of college to begin with. And after, a few months of sitting and learning, I bet he doesn't know a whole lot yet, right? Like, he's still relatively young.
Yeah.
And again, like, if they wanted to prioritize winning, they could have gone over or gone after a better quarterback maybe than Jacoby. I mean, there was a lot of guys out there in the market. We talked about one, Flacco. We talked about this last. No, I don't expect people to watch that video, but Joe Flacco was out there for a good amount of time. He's playing pretty damn well. So I don't know, man. I just don't see. I think to me, this is more of a politics, PR, media move to be like, hey, fans, hey, everyone, we're still in this thing. Keep watching the game. Keep buying tickets. We're bringing out Drake Maye. We're going to showcase this kid. And I just don't think it doesn't make much football sense. It makes sense from a PR stunt, I guess, right? For image, right? You don't want fans bowing out already after 5 weeks of the season. But I think it's a move to please the people, the broader market, the people, than it is to really support the team, because it doesn't really make much sense. Like, how much of a difference will Drake Maye make right now on this awful team?
Yeah, and to the fans right now pointing out, well, look at the game against the Jets. Okay, let's look at the game against the Jets. At that point, the game was squarely in hand. I believe the Jets had started pulling some of their starters. If not, I believe they were pulling the starters. Anyway, and Drake Maye, while albeit, yes, was able to lead a drive against soft coverage and against backups, he was still getting killed every single time he dropped back. He was running for his life, getting dropped onto his head. It was concerning. And again, we're the Rational Football League show. We're here to give you rational opinions. But I'm going to be honest with you. This is I still firmly believe a rational thought. I think this will ruin Drake Maye. I don't think this will, hinder his development. I think this will turn him into a bust. 100%, absolutely. Everywhere else we've seen this exact scenario pull out, where a team says, we're committed to the development of our quarterback. So they play the veteran, let the rookie sit. Halfway through the season, after holding on to that fire pike of losing, they go, fuck it, we'll play the rookie. The rookie never pans out. The biggest one that we kind of talked about off camera before we actually hopped on was Mitchell Trubisky with the Bears in, I believe, 2017, where it was Trubisky's going to sit and Mike Glennon's going to start for us, and Trubisky's going to learn, and the next year will be Trubisky time. And about 4 or 5 weeks into the season, they said, this fucking sucks. We hate losing. We're tired of this. Coaches are coaching for their job. Get in there, rookie, and make it happen. And we see how this panned out for Mitchell Trubisky. It wasn't a great situation. He never developed. He's even on a roster where he's on his fifth roster, wherever he is.
With the Bills right now, yeah.
Back with the Bills. Career backup. Mm-hmm. Same kind of thing. A guy from North Carolina. Look at me making connections that I didn't even realize were there. From North Carolina, big-armed, underdeveloped, was put in a situation where he wasn't allowed to develop and learn. Wasn't put in a position to win.
Yeah.
So is it worth scraping by with 2 extra wins and a couple extra views on a game to turn your potential franchise quarterback into a bust? To me, I don't see the value in it. I think this is a huge failure if this goes through on the front office and the ownership, right? You either didn't evaluate the quarterback market well enough to know, hey, if we want to win, we need a better guy than Jacoby Brissett, and you could have brought in Gardner Minshew, you could have brought in Joe Flacco, Josh Dobbs. There are plenty of guys who have experience starting, who are around, that bottom half of the tier in quarterbacks that could, maybe scrape you by with a 9-8 record, right? Maybe make it to the playoffs, maybe, but at least give you some of the fans to turn out for. You guys actively chose to go with the familiar name of Jacoby Brissett. If your expectation was to win with him, that's a failure on your part. And bailing from that is just doubling down on a failed decision. Ride it out with Jacoby Brissett. It sucks to lose. It does. But you know what? When you get that top 3 pick and you're drafting Travis Hunter, or you're drafting a left tackle of the future to protect Drake Maye, it's going to feel a whole hell of a lot better than the fact that, we got to pick 10th with Drake Maye. But, by the way, now he doesn't know what he's doing. He makes terrible reads all the time and throws the ball away. It's just not a strategy I can think of that we've ever seen work out. So I'll give it to you, B, for your final thoughts on this. We've kind of already gone into a hate fest with this conversation, but bring us back or give us your final thoughts. What do you want to do with this?
Yeah, this kind of blows my mind, honestly. Mostly because I actually like Drake Maye. I like him as a prospect. We kind of realized that he was still raw in a sense, but the tools were kind of there. I really want him to see him do well, but putting him on this this throwing him out there and maybe this is their way of, maybe we were talking about it being this trying to appear that you want to win. Maybe it's the flip side. Maybe you're listen, this season the wash is over. We stink. We might as well give the kid reps. Okay, sure, but you should have let him play then. Before the season started, why did you bring in Jacoby then? All that. I just don't get it. I just hate the way they're making this move now. I feel like they're rushing it. And to your point, we've never really seen this play out like this. There were some scenarios where the starter got hurt and the backup, who was a rookie, came in and played well, sure. But this is still different. That's apples to oranges, right? I honestly feel bad right now for Drake Maye, even like Pat's fan, because again, I feel the same way as you. This could be very detrimental to Drake Maye. It could be, and I feel awful.
And for those Patriot fans, and apparently even me, who misremember that experience where Drake Maye took over for the Jets as something being kind of magical, kind of exciting, it was different. I just pulled up the numbers again because I just want to confirm make sure I was right, and I was completely wrong. I'm sorry. It was abysmal. He went 4 of 8 for 50% completion percentage, 22 yards, 2.8 yards per attempt. He had a passer rating of 56.3, which is 20 points worse than Jacoby Brissett is right now. He had a 40% pressure to sack ratio, and he took 2 sacks.
Yeah.
So 2 sacks
Not
on
good.
2 sacks on 12 dropbacks. So terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And that was over 1 drive, 2 drives, I think. 12 attempts. Imagine that over games. That's not something you want to run out there. That's not something that's going to magically make this season look better. You knew coming in you had a pile of shit. To lie to yourself and say that we were going to be a playoff team is you're just stroking your own ego. But what's more important, your ego or your franchise quarterback? I think this is a decision that ruins this kid forever.